Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Richard Homan. I'm the President, Provost, and the Dean of the School of Medicine at EVMS. So before we start with our remarks in the ceremony, I'd like to have everyone join me in welcoming the EVMS MD class of 2021. You may be seated for a moment. Well, good afternoon and welcome to the 2007 EVMS MD White Coat Ceremony. I want to welcome our students, the families, and friends who've joined us today. It's great to see all the smiles, pride, and accomplishments of our young classmates, but also see that reflected in the loved ones that are here today as well. I also want to thank our faculty. We have representatives here who are representing each of the departments that are outstanding, and I can assure you during the course of your medical curriculum, you will be treated extraordinarily well. Our faculty members are dedicated educators, and we all want you to succeed, to become the best physician you can be, to take care of your patients for many years to come as part of your career. I also want to thank Dr. Martin, our guest speaker. He's from UVA, so in honor of him, I have the UVA colors. Dr. Martin is a preeminent emergency medicine physician and actually an alumnus of EVMS. And I have to say he's one of the finest human beings I've ever met. So I think the class of 2021 is in for a wonderful treat for his address. So it's a special, special day today. Academic health centers typically have 3 milestone days that they celebrate the accomplishments of the students. One is match day, which will be about 3 years from now, when our students here now, who are a little bit nervous and a little anxious about entering the medical curriculum, will learn where they go for their next phase of their career in residency training. There'll be anxiety then, excitement, and a lot of celebration. Sometimes too much celebration, in my view. So rein that in, if you can. Then there's commencement. And commencement is at graduation. And that day, many of you that are in the room will join us again. And your hearts will be filled with pride for all the family members when your student or loved one or family member comes across the stage and gets their diploma, anticipating the next phase of their career. And then there's today, the white coat ceremony. And I have to say, this is my favorite of all of them, because it provides an opportunity for me as a physician, many of the individuals that are here that are physicians, to reflect on why we went into medicine. Many years ago, we were in your seat as well. We never had the white coat ceremony in my generation. I think it's important because it provides an opportunity for you to realize the values of medicine and why you've gone into this field and what your obligations and duties are. But it also provides an opportunity for us to have our hearts lightened by you. You have candles in your heart, and you have extraordinary minds. And your excitement and your idealism is infectious. And I think all of that is felt by everyone who's a physician here today. Because as physicians, we value many qualities. The public requires that as well. Altruism, giving of yourself, professionalism, professional integrity, personal integrity as a citizen, empathy, where you identify ways to be able to have a feeling that the patient has, and through that process, you have sometimes a similar feeling, and through that process provides an opportunity for you to be able to provide your healing art. Compassion, where you care for patients, but also have an obligation to get them better or to comfort them or provide solace during difficult times. And we also, in medicine, want to provide caring for the most vulnerable in our society, to address the health disparities we have in our communities we serve. As you may know, Dr. Romero had a nice presentation before we went to PB Young this past Saturday, which is an elementary school where our students help to be able to prepare the most disadvantaged elementary school in this region for students in their kindergarten through second grade, to prepare them to be able to be in a better place by cleaning the school, by placing artwork up, and by assembling backpacks. And during that process, I think you got a glimpse of the health disparities that are in this community. Dr. Romero reminded you that the health disparities among different economic groups and ethnic groups is very, very wide. Here in Norfolk, the infant mortality rate, for instance, as you learned, is 2.5 times higher for African American babies, meaning they don't survive until their first year of life, than it is for the rest of the population. There's an enormous burden for cancer, colon cancer, prostate cancer. Hispanic patients have a much higher incidence of diabetes. That's an obligation for us to look to find how we can identify the systems of care to eliminate those disparities. So now it is your duty and responsibility to maintain the tenets and values of medicine which have withstood time since the time of Hippocrates. In that tradition, you are now members of the profession of medicine, but as importantly, you're also stewards of our noble profession, carrying those values with you and acting upon them every day. You are the best of the best. We are so proud that you're with us at EVMS. We had almost 7,000 applicants for the 151 students here that are before us. 7,000. That would go around this building 4 or 5 times to be able to get to you. You have impeccable credentials, demonstrated a commitment in the service of others. At EVMS, we value not only the cognitive skills, but also your caring skills and what's in your heart. But I have to say, all those credentials, your MCAT, your GPA, all the honors you might have had, Phi Beta Kappa, you have to put those aside now. That doesn't matter anymore. You start from a new beginning today. You have to see, in your medical curriculum, it's not about getting a grade or a 91 in anatomy or finding ways to be able to be accomplished in your academic work. It's now about the patients who you will care for over the course of your career. It's not about you anymore. It's about your patients. So it's time to enter the profession with medicine with humility, reverence for its history, selflessness, and dedication. And in addition to being the best physician you can be, I would challenge you to be the best leader in medicine to shape the delivery of care and future of care in our nation, to help the health and improve the health of our nation. Who here believes that we have a national health plan that is cost-effective, efficient, and provides the best patient care? Okay? I am blinded by the lights here, but I assume there are no raised hands. And you can imagine what's going on in Washington, that there are many debates. Unfortunately, there are not enough debates. There have to be more conversations to be able to get to what we really need to provide more access to care and health equity. But we have individuals in our school that are leaders trying to make that change. And I'll mention a few for the fear of offending a few on the stage that I might not mention today as well. Dr. Randy Gould, who's in our Department of Surgery, who has been the president of the Medical Society of Virginia. He chaired the legislative committee of the American Medical Association. Dr. Alfred Abahama, the chair of OBGYN, who's the president of the International Society for Ultrasound Medicine around the world. Dr. Jerry Nadler, chair of medicine and vice dean for research, who was named the Scientist of the Year by the governor 1 year ago and is nationally renowned for his clinical care and his discovery of new knowledge through his research. Dr. Abby Van Voorhees, our chair of dermatology, who's the president of the National Psoriasis Society and on the board of the American Board of Dermatology. Dr. L.D. Britt, past president of the American College of Surgeons. Dr. Christine Mattson, member of the board of Family Medicine nationally. Dr. Cynthia Romero, former Commissioner of Health of Virginia and former president of the Medical Society of Virginia. Dr. Frank Councilman, former president of the American Board of Emergency Medicine. And there are many, many others as well. There's also one who sat in your chair 6 years ago, Dr. Josh Lesko, who is now a naval officer at Portsmouth Naval Hospital, lieutenant, emergency medicine resident, who is the vice chair of all of the representatives of all medical schools across the country as vice chair of the American Medical Association Student Council. He is now as a delegate to the Medical Society of Virginia. I would challenge you to find those opportunities. We encourage you to take that lead, to have the opportunity to be a leader, to be an officer in the class, to be able to participate in the AMA, the Association for Medical Colleges. We need your help, we need your skills, and we need your compassion, all in the context of helping to provide better care for our patients. So I'm going to go off script just for a moment. I wear this blue and orange tie not only to honor our wonderful speaker here, but also to reflect on the tragedies of the week. As you know, there was a horrible terror attack in Barcelona yesterday. And last weekend, closer to home, the repugnant racism, hatred, bigotry, which is demonstrated in Charlottesville, made everyone in medicine recoil. Over this past weekend, I received many emails and phone calls from colleagues around the country. Some of them said, "Rick, what happened in Virginia?" Some said, "Why are you in Virginia, given what happened?" And I had to give some reflection on this. Why could this happen? What can we do? That was the common theme of my colleagues across the nation and how I felt as well. So give me a little poetic license here in sharing some of my reflections. My only request is that you consider self-reflection yourself as well. Because I feel that the values of medicine translate into our personal lives every day. As mentioned, one of the areas that we try to aspire to in medicine is to provide more access to care. Those who do not have care. That was demonstrated in some way in the neighborhood of P.B. Young this past weekend. You may recall, coming off the bus, there were flowers by a fence and T-shirts with the names and dates of young people who had died in that community. When I was in second grade, I never saw that. Not many people see that as part of their elementary school education, where someone died from violence or drug overdosing or something else. So in access to care, we try to find ways to be able to provide patients to be able to be seen, to provide the right care with the right specialists, and provide more health equity. That's on your professional side. On your personal side, we need to advocate for opportunity. That was the reason why we have service learning. That's why you were at P.B. Young, to recognize that we have to give opportunity for those that don't have opportunity, or as much opportunity that you all enjoyed while you were young and through your careers. So opportunity for education and jobs and housing, clean water, and opportunities to be able to enjoy the American dream. Another quality in medicine is empathy, as I mentioned, to be able to share the emotions and translating that into your clinical care as a healing tool. Professional empathy. In your personal life, humility. You see, in medicine, we're the most privileged professional class in the world. We are so privileged to be physicians. We have standing in the community. We have a job that will never go away. We're compensated probably too well. And we have the privilege of getting to know people and intervening with them to get them through the worst crises in their life. That is so rewarding. So in your personal life, carry yourself with humility and be humble. Your life will not be judged by what you make or what you did, but who you are. So when you take your white coat and put it on today, you can take a little bit of that pride and leave it in your chest, and a little bit of your ego and your mind, but put some of it in your pocket and allow some of that humility to shine as well. The other quality in medicine is compassion, caring for patients, and then finding ways to be able to deliver the care to make them better. On the human side, the counterpart is kindness. Be nice to people. Talk to the housekeepers. Recognize you're going to be seeing homeless patients. In your personal life, you have to be aware of the advantage that you have and try to reach out to those to lighten their day. A wonderful philosopher I knew, who was born in 1880, once said, my grandmother, you get more from a pat on the head than a kick in the rump. I want you to do a lot of pats on the head. We talked about health disparities, looking to find ways to be able to look at those areas where we can identify abilities to improve the health of those most vulnerable. On the personal side, I want you to advocate for social equality, for civil rights, for respect of religious beliefs, equal treatment under the law, affordable housing, education, employment opportunities, health disparities, social equity. And then communication. In your care of patients, you'll learn to be able to listen and to nod and to reflect back on what they've heard from you to make sure you get it right so that they know what you've said. And in your personal life, you need to listen. You need to debate. We need to have free exchange of ideas in a respectful way and persuade based on ethical and moral principles through moral persuasion. So access to care, advocacy for opportunity, empathy, humility, compassion, kindness, health disparities, social equality, patient care communication, communicating as a citizen. Two sides of the same coin, interwoven like two strands of DNA. It should be embodied in you already. Allow that to come through. So projecting both sides of that coin, augmented by your leadership efforts, provides you the opportunity to change your community. Collectively, you can change the Commonwealth, this nation, and the world. This is all in my brief context and construct. I say this only to provoke self-reflection. You should develop your own context, which resonates with you. We can all do better. I know you can do better. We as a profession and nation need you more now than ever. You are the future of this nation. So in closing, I want to thank you for being a part of EVMS. We are extraordinarily privileged to be able to interface with you along your professional career. We want you to be as successful as you can be to reach your full potential for your patients. And on behalf of the faculty that are here and all the faculty at EVMS, I want to welcome you to our passion and our calling, the wonderful profession of medicine. Thank you. It's now my pleasure to introduce Brian Aherne, member of the class of 2018, to tell you about the heritage of the ceremony and the symbolism of the white coat. Mr. Aherne.
Thank you, Dr. Homan. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Brian Aherne, and I'm a fourth-year medical student here at EVMS. First and foremost, to the class of 2021, congratulations. It's an exciting time to be on campus, and we're elated to have you. Welcome. As you reflect back on your journey so far, Take time to thank those that have helped you and given you countless words of encouragement along the way. Today, your family, friends, colleagues, and future mentors have gathered to welcome you here at EVMS and into the profession of medicine. At EVMS, this welcome involves donning of the symbolic white coat. As a member of the Gold Humanism Honor Society chapter here at EVMS, I'm honored to tell you about this ceremony, this symbol, and this significance to you. The white coat ceremony has a treasured history. It was founded by the Arnold P. Gold Foundation at Commencement for Columbia University's College of Physicians and Surgeons in 1993, where Dr. Arnold Gold had been a professor and a pediatric neurologist for 40 years. Dr. Gold's wife, Dr. Sandra Gold, witnessed students delivering the Hippocratic Oath at Columbia's graduation, and she concluded that the oath was being recited 4 years too late. Instead, she and her husband decided to formally induct medical students into the profession at the beginning of their studies, and subsequently developed the white coat ceremony. The Gold Foundation celebrates humanism in medicine and introduces medical students to the roles and responsibilities of the medical profession on the first day of their education. Today, the white coat ceremonies occur at 97% of accredited medical schools in the United States, Canada, and in 13 other countries. Your white coat symbolizes your entry into the medical profession and welcomes you as a junior colleague. The white coat is personally placed on each of your shoulders by individuals who believe in your ability to carry on the noble tradition of doctoring. It is personally delivered gift of faith, confidence, and compassion. More importantly, your white coat is a covenant between you and your future patients. By accepting this white coat, you're accepting the responsibility to develop, maintain, and improve your skills and knowledge for years to come, while also maintaining professional attitudes and behaviors becoming of a student of your caliber. Wear your white coat with a commitment to excellence, humility, compassion, altruism, and empathy. Here, at the beginning of your journey, I would like to share with you 3 thoughts that I thought would help you along the way. Be brave. You've chosen a difficult path. You will face challenges during the next 4 years that you can't yet imagine. Know, however, that there will always be someone there to guide you when you need it. Dream big and pursue your passions during your time here. You'll be amazed by what doors will open for a new idea championed by an enthusiastic student. Be humble. Humility goes a long way, not only with your patients, but also with your colleagues and coworkers. You won't have an answer for every question, and you absolutely won't be able to fix every problem. Nobody expects you to. Learning to recognize your shortcomings and when to ask for help are skills that you will develop and rely upon throughout your entire career as a physician. And lastly, be yourself. Yes, you will be taught specific questions to ask each patient, and you'll often memorize them in a specific sequence. At times, these conversations can feel somewhat automated, but it's especially difficult at first, but do your best to let your personality shine through. If you're someone who likes to laugh, laugh with your patients. If you shed a tear with a patient, know that that's okay too. When patients come to see you, they expect to meet with a fellow human being, someone with his or her own personality and emotions. On behalf of the MD class of 2018, congratulations on this special day. As your white coat is placed on your shoulders for the first time, take a moment to look around. You are all now brothers and sisters in what will undoubtedly be an eventful journey. Please take care of one another. I will end with a quote by Mark Twain. The 2 most important days in your life are the day that you are born and the day that you find out why. If you haven't already, I will trust that you will all find the answer to why during the next 4 years. And now, please join me in welcoming to the podium Dr. Ronald Flener. Dr. Flener is Vice Dean of the Academic Affairs and graduate of EVMS MD class of 1989. Thank you and best of luck.
Thank you, Brian. It's an honor to stand here today and look out across this room to the men and women who are our next generation of physicians. Donning your white coat today means accepting the obligation to care for, bond with, and remember your patients. In truth, nothing that you do more as a physician will be more important than to know and to care for your patients. In terms of personal satisfaction, there's nothing more satisfying than be able to help another human being. Sir William Osler once said, "Medicine is learned at the bedside and not in the classroom," and I'm sure you all discover that to be the truth as you progress through your journey. Your patients will always be your greatest teacher. You'll also have the privilege to learn from those who have gone before you. As an EVMS alumnus myself, I can tell you a great number of talented and compassionate physicians who can claim EVMS as their alma mater and who conveyed invaluable information to me in my journey. Brian is a perfect example of the talent that I get to work with on a daily basis and makes my day coming to work so very worthwhile. Today's guest speaker, Dr. Marcus Martin, is also one of those alumni. We're very honored to have him here to talk about the journey you are preparing to embark upon as new medical students. And if I could impart to you one piece of advice, if you can aspire to be half the physician and half the person that Dr. Martin is, you'll be doing quite well. So at this time, I'd like to invite Dr. Martin to the podium.
Thank you, Dr. Flener. President and Provost Dean Holman, department chairs and representatives, faculty, staff, and any of our Board of Visitors and members who may be present, welcome, and all within the EVMS community. It is my privilege and distinct honor to speak today during this white coat ceremony. But as Dr. Holman spoke about the University of Virginia, and we have many people here with ties to UVA and the Charlottesville community, and you all are aware of the tragic events that occurred this past weekend in association with the Unite the Right rally. I just want to say our thoughts and prayers are with the families and friends of those who died, and we wish for full recovery for those who were injured. It's been trying and testy time in Charlottesville. We have new students that are moving in today and tomorrow, and I'm a member of the President's Cabinet as Vice President and Chief Officer for Diversity and Equity, and they are having an orientation right now for half of the class. We'll have orientation for the other half tomorrow, which I will attend, and then we'll have other events throughout the weekend. But there's a lot of love. There's a lot of love in Charlottesville. You know, safety is of utmost importance for our current students, new students, staff, and faculty and community members. So we are reassessing a number of things, you know, access to the line. As you all know, people came on the line with weapons and tiki torches. But we had 7,000 people on the line just the other night with candles in a show of love to take back our grounds, and we did. And it's been stressful, but we will remain strong and will continue to move forward. As I said, there is a lot of love being shown. I drove down here yesterday and decided to, at Pantops in Charlottesville, to detour and go into a drive-in restaurant to get some refreshments for traveling. And there was a man in a truck who seemed to be in a hurry. He was on a cell phone, and he cut me off, and he got in line. And I'm thinking, that's not so nice. And so as we progressed through the line, he got his order, and I pulled up to the cashier, and she said, "Sir, the man in front of you just paid for your order." And I said, "Thank you." I was very, very grateful. I didn't know what to do, but just be grateful. But I had the money in my hand to pay for my order, and I said, "How much is the bill for the lady behind me?" "Here, please take the money." Please take the money. Thank you. I actually came out ahead. My bill was $2 higher than the other. So I asked the cashier, I said, "People doing this?" And they are. People are doing this more and more. So I called back to remind my wife to do the same. So welcome, EVMS Medical School Class of 2021. I think I'd like for us all to applaud you one more time right now. Welcome. And by the way, the folks going through the line, actually, I ended up catching up with the guy in the truck and waved and thanked them, and the lady behind me caught up to me and waved and thanked me, so it was all good. So congratulations to each of you and your families. Today marks another milestone in your lives, adding to the many commendable achievements to date. Becoming a physician is an honor and a lifetime commitment. You've been accepted into a medical school with a remarkable history. You got here on your many strengths and with the support of your families, teachers, advisors, mentors, ministers, administrators, staff, and all others who supported you from preschool through high school, through your college, undergraduate years, and for some during graduate school, research, and work experience. At EVMS, you will receive instructions in the classroom and at the bedside. You will share experiences with your classmates, and you will learn from each other. Your patients will teach you as well. And they will respect and love you, and at times some patients will show you their ire and perhaps even bias towards you. But be gracious at all times and in all acts, and first, do no harm. Honor, respect, compassion, resilience, sensitivity to others' needs and feelings, cultivation of academic and personal integrity, synthesizing, integrating, and applying new knowledge will define, shape, and sharpen your skills as you become well-educated physicians. You will learn to work collaboratively with others in the best interests of patients, and you will set your own goals for continuous improvement. As you strive to become the best you can be within your school, within the hospital, and within the community, you will give of your knowledge and skills, and you will be rewarded in many ways. Within this class of 151 peers, 52% come from within the state of Virginia and 48% out of state. 35 of you completed a medical master's program right here at EVMS. There were nearly 7,000 applications for this entering class, nearly 45 applicants for each seat. You are among the best. You are all awesome. You are all unique in special ways. Inspirations and blessings have brought you thus far on your journey, as I've been inspired and blessed throughout my journey. I grew up in a very small town in the mountains of Virginia with a loving family and supportive community. My mother had a high school education. She washed and ironed clothes to make ends meet. Eventually, she took on a part-time job going house to house collecting payments for a life insurance company. At an early age, I helped my mom with the accounting reports to be sent to the insurance company weekly. I used an old-fashioned crank calculator to generate the data for the reports, which ultimately sharpened my math skills, knowing that if I made mistakes, I could cause my mom to lose money. My mom's dad was killed by a train when she was very young. Her older brother, my Uncle Frank, was born with a neuromuscular disorder, and he walked with crutches. He lived with my elderly grandmother. He could not bathe or shave himself. But Uncle Frank had a great attitude. He was well known in the community, sometimes walking several hours on those crutches with a slow switch gait to go from his house to ours. Once I had the strength to lift Uncle Frank and place him in the bathtub, bathing and shaving him would become my job, alternating with my two older brothers. It was a difficult task, but one in which I learned to be patient, compassionate, and humble. My dad had a sixth grade education with a stellar safety record as a laborer for the local paper mill, where most of the men in the community worked. As valedictorian of a small high school class of 40 students, my academic record was good enough to be accepted to NC State University, the only school to which I applied. But it was my dad's reputation at the paper mill that paved the way for me to receive a scholarship to study pulp and paper technology and chemical engineering at NC State, and to become a production engineer at West Vaco in our town, and eventually a member of the class of 1976 at Eastern Virginia Medical School. EVMS was the only medical school to which I applied, but I do not recommend applying to only one medical school these days. I was chosen one of 24 students in the charter class from an applicant pool of 1,200. 50 applicants per seat, similar to the odds you faced. However, you are smarter, and the competition for you was stiffer. Envision a decade before the charter class entered, the citizens of Hampton Roads supported development of this new school, which would eventually provide an exceptional educational environment where teaching, discovering, and caring are the hallmarks. EVMS arose from a dream and became a reality in improving patient care and training healthcare providers and researchers in a community without these advances previously. The community looked to the future, building not just another medical school, but a great one. In 1976, the dean wrote the following to my graduating class. Your graduation as a charter class of EVMS marks a most important milestone for you, the faculty, and this community. Together, the students, faculty, administration, and the community have shared a 3-year learning process in the development of this community-based school without walls. Your success is the success of EVMS, as our destinies are irrevocably linked. It has been and continues to be an exciting venture in medical education. The medical school will grow, and more physicians and health professionals will be educated by methods that are based upon what we developed together. And my classmates and I had long hair back during those days. We looked like the Mod Squad. We were a close-knit group, and we were a part of something special. We worked hard and we played hard when we could. I recall that the whole class would watch episodes of Kung Fu together during our evening downtime after long hours of study. And we would go to the beach often as well. Early days faculty at EVMS were predominantly male and white. There were few women and few minorities. But times have changed, and the EVMS student body, faculty, and staff have become more diverse. Your time will pass very quickly here at EVMS, more quickly than you realize. I remember on the day of my graduation, I hastily caught up with my family and departed with them to celebrate. I overlooked taking a photo with my classmates in cap and gown, which in later years I regretted. That picture is the only charter class graduation photo to surface, and I'm not in it. So celebrate with your classmates throughout your time in medical school, but don't celebrate too hard until graduation activities are completed. Today, celebrate with your family. Don't overlook thanking your parents, siblings, children, grandparents, and other family members for their support. My 44-year journey since the first day at EVMS has been very fulfilling, with learning, patient care, teaching, research, family life, community service, and personal honors. I served as a general medical officer on the Navajo reservation, where I was blessed with the birth of my oldest daughter, now a professor of nursing, right here at Old Dominion University. I delivered babies on the back of flatbed trucks outside the ER on the reservation, as was common community practice at that time. And I caught a precipitous delivery in the waiting room in the ER of a level 1 trauma center with 30 to 40 people applauding the arrival of the healthy baby with happy mom. My colleagues and I were faced with the China white drug epidemic, which took the lives of 18 young people over 3 months in the Pittsburgh community. Undetectable by routine drugs of abuse screens, but eventually detected by chromatography, the China white or 3-methylfentanyl mystery was solved, and the chemist making and placing the drug on the street was apprehended and arrested. During your journey, you will laugh at times and you will cry at times. Accept help often, you will need it. Help will come from your peers, nurses, nurse practitioners, physicians, physician assistants, basic scientists, staff, family, friends, and patients. You will be challenged with adversities. Turn adversity into opportunity. J. Willard Marriott stated, "Adversity gives us the opportunity to grow, and we usually get what we work for. If you have problems and overcome them, you grow taller in character and in qualities that bring success." Donning your white coats today marks a new beginning. I pray you will have the stamina for continued success as the hard road continues. Much will be expected of you, and over time you will give of your knowledge, your skills, and goodwill many times over. Do so cheerfully, and you will be recognized and rewarded in many ways you never expected. I'll leave you with this quote from Maya Angelou: "When we give cheerfully and accept gratefully, all are blessed." And that's what happened to me in that line yesterday at the fast food restaurant. So welcome to EVMS. The EVMS family is awesome. Congratulations, and may you have continued many blessings. My very best to each of you, and Godspeed. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Martin, for your insightful words. It's now time for presentation of the white coats. Would the chairs or their designees from our basic science and clinical departments please rise as I call your name? Representing dermatology is Department Chair Dr. Abby Van Voorhees. Representing emergency medicine is Dr. Barry Knapp. Representing family and community medicine is Dr. Allison Dobby. Representing internal medicine is Department Chair Dr. Jerry Nadler. Representing microbiology and molecular cell biology is Department Chair Dr. Julie Carey. Representing obstetrics and gynecology is Dr. Sergio Oninger. Representing ophthalmology is Department Chair Dr. Shannon McCole. Representing otolaryngology, head and neck surgery is Department Chair Dr. Barry Strasnick. Representing pathology and anatomy is Dr. Craig Goodmurphy. Representing pediatrics is Department Chair Dr. C.W. Gowan, Jr. Representing physical medicine and rehabilitation is Department Chair Dr. Antonia Quigley Navarez. Representing physiologic sciences is Department Chair Dr. Gerald Pepe. Representing psychiatry and behavioral sciences is Department Chair Dr. Stephen Deutsch. Representing radiation oncology is Dr. Edwin Cranley. Representing surgery is Dr. Jessica Burgess. The chairs and department representatives are here to help students into their white coats. We have a tradition of allowing legacy family members or EVMS-affiliated physicians to assist in donning their students' white coats. And today we have 5 families who meet the criteria. These students will be presented their white coats at the end of the group. When your name is called, please approach the stage. And at this time, I would also like to ask Dr. Homan and Dr. Martin to join me so we congratulate each of you as you leave the stage. And in the spirit of full disclosure, I have, I think, by far the hardest job here today. As I pronounce these names, I'm going to ask for forgiveness in advance if any of them are mispronounced. And I will forgive the students when they mispronounce the names of bacteria and any other medical term as we go through, okay? So I think that's fair, okay? Okay. Andrew Abayan. Sammy Asi. Dominique Adams. Matthew Adsit. Shadane Akavan, Jacqueline Alvarado Valadez, Shiva Ambadar, Gloria Andely, Thomas Andros, Alexander Bayo, Abigail Barger, Barmaz Alamdari, Alan Barte, Nikhil Baya, Nicholas Beavers. You may now don your white coats. Hajar Benchek, Aaron Bitaro, Suhas Barwudraj, Randall Block, Lindsay Bodenhorn, Dylan Campbell, Elizabeth Campbell, Alice Che, Caroline Cesare, Jihei Choi, Jonathan Chow, Brian Cochran, Tony Colangelo, Nicole Connolly, Molly Connors. You may now don your white coats. Garrett Cook, Joshua Coons, Michael Corbin, Jessica Corder, Ann Cross, Callie Dashishan, Stephen Dalton Patillo, Wendell Davis, Joshua Dellinger, Zachary Dubit, Emily Egress, Jennifer Embry, Oscar Amahe, Daniel Fafaro, Marie Laure Flamer. You may now don your white coats. Matilde Franklin, Emily Fredrickson, Ritza Frisijos, Haley Garrison, Patiha Gorbani, Christian Go, Allison Goldberg, Veronica Gray, John Greco, Emma Griever, Ursula Griffiths Randolph, John Hardy, Joshua Harris, Nicole Hawkins, Kevin Houston. You may now don your white coats. Omar Jano, Rebecca Johnson, Richard Jones, Kirkland Caith, Sukhpreet Kaur, Claire Kimberly, Alice Kristeneff, Joel Kleinberg, Natalia Kott, Jeremy Kernot, Vaughn Land, Justin Lanzinger, James Lau, Brandon Lay, Kevin Magunga. You may now don your white coats. Natalie McDeesey, Aaron Madison, Daniel Mai, Catherine Major, Gregory Mansour, Jody Mao, Daniel Margolin, Tony Matthew, Mackenzie McDaniel, Ethan McGann, Alexander McNally, Mary Meehan, Sharon Menicheri, Alexander Metzger, Clayton Morales. You may now don your white coats. Robel Morehouse, Daniel Muir, Allegra Newland, Charles O'Neill, Shama Okai, Anthony Pang, Ariana Pape, Kevin Parsons, Ankit Patel, Nukul Patel, Thomas Pender, William Perkins, Kristen Peterson, Stephen Petter, Francis Pham. You may now don your white coats. Emma Pindra, Elizabeth Pogrebniak, Daisy Prox, Vanessa Ramos, Colin Reinhardt, Sherry Rethnaswamy, Sokol Ray, Gregory Robinson II, Heidi Raber, Matthew Saunders, Alexander Schmidt, Joshua Schwartz, Courtney Sive, Amanda Severn, Madison Selward. You may now don your white coats. Deepak Sharma, Natasha Sharma, Michael Shaver, Sequoia Sheely, Shahir Sharani, William Sharedsmith, Kevin Shindelis, Jason Shogel, Jarrett Slater, John Slepchuk, Catherine Smith, Christina Smith, Don Strahler, Haley Taylor, Ross Taylor. You may now don your white coats. Jonathan Taylor Fishwick, Jennifer Tish, Austin Tippold, Tam Tron, Bradley Eulis, Matthew Velodari, Daniel Wang, Jasmine Williams, Jesse Wood, Kayloon Yi, Julie Yi. You may now don your white coats. Chairs and department representatives, you may now be seated. Now I'd like to invite to the stage the designated family members who will present the white coats to their respective students. Dr. Monica Gill, a member of the MD class of 2011. Dr. Randolph Gould, Assistant Professor of EVMS Surgery, member of the MD class of 1978. Dr. C. Stokes Kirkland, member of the MD class of 1981 and Assistant Professor of Family and Community Medicine. Dr. Jennifer Lee Balderson, member of the MD class of 2015 and a current resident in EVMS Obstetrics and Gynecology. And Dr. Kathy O'Connell, member of the MD class of 1988. I would now like to now call forth the students. Shandeep Gill, Lindsay Gold, David Kirkland, David Lay, Katie O'Connell. You may now don your white coats. Would the MD class of 2021 please stand for reading of the Hippocratic Oath? Students, you can find the oath printed on page 7 of your program. In addition to the students, we invite all other physicians here today to join in recitation of the oath. Upon this day of matriculation into the Eastern Virginia Medical School, as I seek admission to the medical profession, I do solemnly affirm, as did the ancient Greeks, by all that I hold most sacred, that, according to my ability and judgment, I will keep this oath and its stipulations. I hold my teachers in this art equal to my own parents and extend to them the respect and gratitude which is their due. I will by precept, lecture, and every other mode of instruction impart a knowledge to the art my progeny and those of my teachers and to disciples bound by covenant and oath according to the law of medicine. I will follow that system of treatment which, according to my ability and judgment, I consider for the benefit of my patients and abstain from whatever is deleterious and mischievous. I will exercise my art solely for the cure of my patients and the prevention of disease, and will give no drugs and perform no operations for a criminal purpose, nor far less suggest such a thing. With honor and dignity, I will practice my profession, not permitting considerations of religion, nationality, race, or social standing to intervene between duty and my patient. Into whatsoever houses I enter, I will go for the benefit of the sick, and will hold myself aloof from every voluntary act of wrongdoing or corruption. Whatever I may see or hear in the lives of others, which ought not be spoken abroad, I will not divulge, reckoning that such should be kept secret. While I continue to keep this oath unviolated, may it be granted to me to enjoy life and practice of the art respected by people in all times. But should I trespass and violate this oath, may the reverse be my lot. This concludes today's ceremony, and I'd like to thank all of you for coming today and participating in what I think is a fantastic ceremony for our students. It's a very special event. Please remain seated. You all may have a seat and remain seated until the chairs and representatives recess out, followed by the students. We hope that many of you will remain for the reception that will occur here in the Opera House after the conclusion of the ceremony. Thank you all very much, and again, congratulations to the class of 2021.